We have a little bit of breaking sports news here, Jace.
This is breaking news.
We have just learned that the Niners and Brandon Aiyuk have reached a deal. 4 years, $120 million, $76 million guaranteed.
All righty then. Well, thank God this thing is finally put to rest.
What a dumb saga.
I mean, it really was ridiculous. So he wanted to be the highest paid receiver in football. The Niners like, we're not going to make you the highest paid receiver in football. We'll send you someplace that will make you the highest paid receiver in football. And then he was like, no, I don't want to play those places because they suck. And then they went back and were like, well, if you want to be on a team that's good, we can't make you the highest paid receiver in football. And then he was like, well, that's unacceptable. And then it's now acceptable. So he's rich. He's just not CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson rich. But he's also not playing for the crappy-ass Vikings and the okay Dallas Cowboys.
So couldn't that deal have been done a long time ago?
It makes no sense to
But
me.
now apparently Jamar Chase, who was supposed to play week 1, there are rumors that he won't play unless he gets the most money of any receiver over Jordan Jefferson on average value.
He only wants a cent over.
1 penny over.
1 penny over.
Yeah.
So, because originally they asked Zach Taylor, who's the head coach, because he was battling something. Was it a foot or a calf or hamstring, something? He had a minor injury, and Zach Taylor was like, oh no, like he's going to play. And then he had to take a step back and be like, yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. And so there's some speculation that's not about the injury. He's like, yeah, I would like to get paid, and I'm not taking an Aiyuk deal. So, you know.
He's now out again? I mean, he hasn't practiced at all.
So we don't know. I mean, you got this week and then next week, whether or not he goes.
Well, don't they play next week?
Yeah, they play next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone plays next week.
Yeah, well, that's...
So we will see what and the Aiyuk deal. I mean it's fair. I mean it's what was it? 4 years,
120.
4 for 120 and even 30 a year, even though they're going to front load it, but an average of 30 a year.
So $4 million less a year than what CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, because he got 4 for 136.
But what was the guarantee on his?
So Aiyuk's only $76 million guaranteed. CD got $100 million.
$100 million and a $38 million signing bonus, and it said it was front loaded. We don't know how much they're front loading it. So
yeah,
look.
So he's on par with Tyreek Hill in terms of average per year.
That makes so. I mean, that's a hell of a deal.
Pretty good little contract.
But he's not top 4.
Well, no, and can we all admit, and can he admit he's not a top 4 wide receiver? I mean, he's just not. He's a very good receiver. He's not CeeDee Lamb. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not Tyreek Hill. He's a very good player. And by front loading it, my guess is, in 2 to 3 years, and this is why I wish this thing would have been done 3 weeks ago, someone just sits down with him and says, dude, if you perform over the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to get another one of these. And if you do prove to be Justin Jefferson, then guess what? In your next one, you will be the highest paid receiver in football. But there's nothing you've done so far that gets you that money. I guess all along he said, I want to reset the market. And the Niners just said no. And so, I mean, it was John Lynch that even came out yesterday and said, at some point you got to play. At some point, this is on you. And that's when you could feel like maybe the Niners were sick of this crap.
The YouTube chat chiming in that he's right between Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, which seems perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes Jefferson. If you're talking average per year for wide receivers, Jefferson's at $35 million. CD is at $34 million. A.J. Brown, $32 million.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, a little over $30 million. Tyreek Hill, right at $30 million. Then you slide in Aiyuk, and then Jalen Waddle, $28.25 million.
Herein lies the problem with the next up, because we see this all the time.
Which will be Chase, right?
Yeah, he'll be the next one. The next guy up sets the market, and that happens quite a bit. But sometimes the next one up is a tier below. If you are in the same class as the top tier guys, for the most part, you do get to reset the market. But the problem is that the guys that are a step below often feel like it doesn't matter. They should still get to reset. And maybe that works if you're with a crappy ass team, because the New England Patriots were willing to reset the market for him. But again, when you play for the Niners, when you play for the Cowboys, when you play for the Kansas City Chiefs, Tyreek Hill, that's all you need to know is that the Chiefs weren't willing to reset the market for Tyreek Hill. So just some people don't want to accept that, and eventually Aiyuk did.